And we're here, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, good evening, welcome to another We Are Movie Club Hangout. I am Charlie, I am in control tonight, which makes a pleasant change, and I'm joined by everybody's favourite disease-ridden cat burglar.
Why am I
You
a
don't,
criminal?
you don't like that one?
What? Who did I rob?
No, I mean a physical cat burglar. No, no.
I don't steal cats. I just have them. This one's fat. Come here,
You
pig.
just adopt them. They just appear.
Urgh. Kaboom, kitty. Kaboom. I'm
How many do you have
Kamurai.
now?
I don't talk about that.
Wasn't a dig, it was a genuine question.
It's not. It doesn't have to be a dig. There's too many of these fuckers. Um, but no, it's just that I told you before, like they're adopted off the street because I didn't want to see dead kittens in my parking lot. And they never went anywhere because apparently once you let them get past the cute, tiny stage, they're really hard to get adopted out. And if they're in the cute adopted stage, it's really hard to get them all their medication and stuff over with. Because I was trying to do that, be like, look, you don't have to get them neutered, you don't have to get them their leukemia or anything. I'll pay for all that. I'm just trying to get it done. And apparently that's not how you do it.
Of course it's not. That would have been sensible and logical and helpful, so of course it's not the way you do things.
Yeah, people are
Anyway,
weird.
why are we here?
I don't know. You told me the hangout was started, so I got on.
Yeah, I told you to be here.
I think it's something about movies. Movies, I don't know.
Yeah, we do that on occasion, don't we?
Yeah, I think we just get together and look dreamily into each other's eyes.
Through the gaze of pixelated webcams.
Am I that pixelated?
What? I think it's probably because I've got such a poor internet connection tonight.
Oh, that's a shame. We will persevere however we can.
Fight on.
I'm trying to think if there's like anything newsworthy, really, other than like Tusk is available for download.
Well, I know that something happened that's very newsworthy for me, but may not necessarily be for you.
What's up?
And that is the new James Bond film has been announced.
I'll be picking my nose that night instead.
I can't wait. It's, I think, November the 6th, 2015. Daniel Craig is back, which is always good. And they've actually released, well, they're using like a new concept car, a new Aston Martin, which I retweeted the sort of tweet that encapsulated it for me, which was actually there were two. There were Aston Martin DB tent, therefore trouser tent, which just kind of fits for me, and then another one was DB10, yes fucking please. So yeah, everybody at least over here is really hyped.
I will tell you something about November 26, 2015.
Go on.
Games Workshop better damn well have Eternal Crusade and Blood Bowl 2 up and out by then. That's what I've got to say about November 26th, 2015.
Right.
You even got me saying it like an American. It's 26 November. I hate that nonsense where we stick the day in the middle between the month and the year. Makes absolutely no sense. And do you guys even do that? Why did you say it like that?
Force of habit. I don't know. I tend to just go between whatever just sort of instantly comes to mind.
You want to be American when you grow up? Is that it?
Always.
You want to race cars? You know what? I can see you moving to the South. I can see you moving to like Atlanta. That'd be really funny.
Actually, yeah, I wouldn't complain about that. What was I watching earlier? While I was pretending. Actually, no, it was just after I got in from work. I was watching off-road racing, which was like from the middle of Arizona, and it just looked really good fun.
Like ATV, not ATVs, but like they've got the big crazy wheels.
Yeah, well, not quite. They were just sort of, well, just suitably done up pickups, and they were just sort of going at a good 6 to 10 feet in the air, and it was great.
Oh, that's gonna be so funny. 10 years, you're gonna be like living in Alabama.
Yeah, I'm gonna be living in an RTV or a shack.
There's more money on put into your car than the house.
Yeah.
But they both have wheels.
All you can see outside is a banged up 1930s Ford. That's the life for me.
That's so funny. Sorry, it's funny because like we joke about it because it's plausible, but like I can never see that actually happening. It doesn't fit in my head.
I think that's because we both know that it wouldn't be allowed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to think of anything noteworthy, and maybe I've just been too busy. And then the holidays were the other week, and
it's holiday season. Well, that's the thing, because it gets to like December, nothing really happens because everybody's focused on making a cheap DVD for Christmas.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, especially over here, is like after Halloween, Christmas starts in advertising, so that everyone spends all the money they saved up instead of paying their debts on useless shit. So I don't know. I'm obviously in the minority, but it's just such a strange time. And for me, what ends up being the big deal is that that's when like certain video games and board games and stuff get released for the holidays, because that's when the businesses who appropriate those things want them to be sold because everyone's spending money.
This is the thing. I mean, from a cynical point of view, it's kind of annoying that some of the best things get released at this time of year purely to satisfy a commercial market.
Oh yeah, it's completely annoying. And then like the price point, like I actually found a discount code for Dragon Age Inquisition, so I could get it like at $45. And then I saw like fucking EA has like a deluxe edition for like $10 more than retail for $70, and I was like, I'd almost rather just spend the $70, but like I just have so much problems, even for a game that I'm waiting for so badly as Dragon Age. Spending that much money in a go, especially with all the other games I have that I haven't played yet. I need to start working my way through my Steam library.
Yeah, it just gets harder to justify, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like I could spend $60 I shouldn't on a game that I barely have time to play when I've got all these other ones that I haven't played I should probably play. And then I've been dying to go back and play Portal 2 again. I really have, and I just haven't gotten around to starting that because I know once I start it, it's going to be a thing. And then I still need to get World of Goo. It's almost done re-rendering. Like I found out that I left the logo out somehow of all the videos.
Oh, right.
So like out of like 40 videos or whatever it is, like I had to go back and re-render them all. But then board games are interesting because stuff's been dripping out since, honestly, October. But board game manufacturing is such a difficult, weird thing that a lot of people are on delays. So even Tento Curry, which was originally set for like October, isn't coming out till December 31st. And I think that's because they have to put it out by December 2014, but like they know they're not ready. In its entirety. And Soda Pop Miniatures still hasn't announced Forgotten Kings release. Like it's supposed to be in December, but I don't think it's going to happen until January. Games.
Oh, games, holidays, everything that is too soon.
So like I'll probably get Tusk this week at some point. Throw Kevin some dollars.
Yeah, let me know how that goes.
I just need to make sure that I can actually watch it when I go download it. But I probably, you know what, that probably makes sense, is that I will probably have to wait for it to download to watch it. So maybe I should go ahead and get it and just watch it when I can. Because
Yeah.
like what I've been watching this week is like just trying to catch up with Hulu. The only thing noteworthy that's really happened is with Sword Art Online. And I called it, but the new group that Asuna met, the Sleeping Knights, apparently they're all terminal patients in a hospital, and like,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, they've all been avoided because the whole idea, like from the start when they proposed Asuna help them, is that in 3 months' time they wouldn't be able to log on together anymore, so they were going to disband and go their separate ways. That was the story. I'm like, really? No, it's online. It's nerve. Like it's one of those things that like people build communities on. It's like World of Warcraft. If like we lived together and then you moved back to London, we'd still play Warcraft together probably. You know?
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same principles. It just didn't make any sense. I'm like, someone's got to be dying. I didn't expect all of them, but I expected Yuki, the main character out of the Sleeping Knights, to be to like have cancer or something, and apparently she had AIDS. Like she was born with it from like a transfusion during childbirth, and through complications, everyone in the family got infected.
Mm.
So
Now,
yeah.
Now I noticed something, because this slightly leads into what we'll end up talking about, but I had to go onto ye old American Netflix in order to watch Turbo, and actually found that Sword Art Online is highly recommended for me on US Netflix.
I didn't send you a notification for that, did I?
I don't know, but it definitely comes up with watched by one friend and your face appears.
Oh, of course. Well, I think part of that is that because we've been watching this same movies every week, so it correlates that. Like, so I'm probably like the #1 person in its algorithm for it to recommend movies from, because we have the longest running history of watching the same movies. Does that make sense?
Lag spike.
Are you back yet? Charlie was here, then he was gone. We'll miss him all along. It's Charlie. You weren't kidding.
I know.
But did that make sense about the Netflix thing? What I was saying?
Mm. Yeah, it made complete sense. But yes, it came up. So I may give that a go at some point, because again, they're only, I think, 23-minute episodes, something like that.
Yeah, they are
that's
rather short, and you get pretty involved pretty quick if you do. So like you won't even notice that the time's gone by. And I'll take back my absolute rejection of the dubbing. I watched something dubbed for it at some point, and it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a real difference, because that's the whole part of their personality is their voice. So especially if you go back and you watch older animes where it was like really bad, because no one cared about their job back then, it makes world of difference. Nowadays, I think everyone's a good enough voice actor that like, oh, this is an actual job. We take this seriously. And you use voice actors. Yeah. So, but have you been watching anything else? I've just got one other thing.
Not have I? No, I don't think I have.
Oh, I've actually got two other things. I forgot about one. Sorry.
Go.
There's a series on Netflix I've been watching called Helix. I passed it up for like a month, just like, what is this? And then I finally read the description, and I was like, okay, that sounds a little interesting. Put it on my watch list, and it sat there for like another month. I was like, I should probably watch this, especially since I can't watch The Strain, because it's all about infectious disease, like a virus that gets loose and blah, 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 because it's a virus show. But done as a series makes it really interesting, because I don't think I've seen that before. Because it's not just like, oh, people get sick and die, it's they get sick and they, for lack of a better word, transform into what they call vectors. So what the virus does is it delivers gene therapy to the person, so it mutates them into this hive mind zombie thing. So they're like, the main characters are from the CDC, and then there's people from the private corporation, and then there's like this guy who represents the army supposedly. And then, like, there's the security force there, and there's no phone or internet except for once an hour a day. And then, like, the satellite gets blown up for that, and it's a very complex show, which I think is why I liked it so much. With, like, very smart things happening. In fact, I need to bother the science and podcast guys on The Escapist about it, because I'm sure that'd be something up their alley. I've been chatting with them like tweet chatting, not like, hey, we're good friends, but like about different stuff. I don't know. Like, I'm super appreciative that like people spend their time like talking to me about stupid shit, and then seeing like them or like the Weird Girls and Mark and Elizabeth Garner for Lovable Varmint, like those guys, like, that take any time to like have any sort of conversation with me. It's like, oh wow, that's pretty neat that you took some time out of your day when obviously you fuckers are busy. In fact, like I was actually poking the bear with the Escapist guys, at least the science podcast guys, and they might be doing like a Minecraft Let's Play together.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna give them a couple weeks of space and then poke them again and be like, hey, is that Minecraft thing happening?
Yeah, get in on it.
And it's not like I was talking about like I'm talking like I'm gonna go play with them, but I figured like if they do like a Twitch stream of it, it would be really interesting. And my idea was for them to do creative, but they were all like, let's do survival.
Yeah.
So I think that's really funny. Okay, so other than Helix, which is complex and kind of horror-y, but in contrast to that, I haven't watched a Robin Williams movie officially since he died. I don't know if you have.
I haven't actually, no, but carry on as though I have.
No, but it's so like it was kind of like it's about time I watched one. All the hullabaloo is over, and I want to give Robin the nod. So somebody contacted me, and we're doing a collaborative review, and that'll be out on their channel. I don't know, probably in the next couple weeks, and then I'll release mine around the same time. Just because I did a review for it, but it's for the Big White.
Now that's something I've never heard of.
I hadn't either. I was super surprised when I found it. It's Robin Williams. He's in Alaska. He's kind of like a failing businessman, and the short sell is that he is a failing businessman. He tries to cash in on his brother's life insurance policy because his brother's been missing for like 5 years. So when he stumbles across a dead body, he tries to pass it off as if his brother came back and then he had a hiking accident. But the people who made the body obviously come looking for it. And then we throw in that his lovely wife, Holly Hunter, is kind of a crazy person. And then the insurance guy is kind of obsessed with not letting him get the insurance policy because it'd be a big win for the company. It'd be his worldwide promotion. So you've got all these self-interested people almost trying to scam each other and like to see who comes out on top. But it's definitely a dark comedy. It's not like a ha 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 ha. It's like, oh shit.
When you put it like that, it sounds like something I would be into.
It's like in my head, like the Royal Tenenbaums kind of echoes in the background because that was the first official movie I've ever seen that was called a dark comedy, and I remember not liking it, but I don't remember why. But it's ever since that, like I've had this blanket of dark comedy in my head, and I threw this under that blanket. I'd watch it again, I'll be honest, but I think I'd just be paying attention to Holly Hunter for the entire movie because she plays crazy so well. Like she plays crazy Robin Williams well. And you know what? Honestly, that would have been a better movie if Robin Williams had been the wife. Maybe like make it a crazy husband with a failing businesswoman. Or a gay couple.
Mm.
That actually could have worked well into the movie. But let Robin Williams do the crazy guy, and that would have been pretty interesting too.
How old is it?
It was 2012?
2005, apparently.
5? Oh, I might be thinking the other movie. Yeah, I'm thinking of The Mark. I was going back and forth between a couple of them for what we were going to do, and I ended up landing on The Big White, but The Mark was 2012. That's right.
Mm.
So it was good. It was good to see Robin. I kind of wish it was in a better film, but I've got that recorded, so I've got to edit that at some point today probably, and we'll see what's up. Oh, my nose. It's my biggest problem on camera these days is that I think maybe it's just cat hair. But like I'm constantly having the urge to do this, and you're not supposed to do that on camera. Like I just did. So like I've been trying to cut around that, and it looks really awkward. But we watched one movie, the two of us.
We did. We clearly watched the same film, but obviously had two very different opinions on it.
Yeah, and Charlie, I think you'll do the movie more justice if you say the title.
Turbo! Is that what you were going for?
Because like you say it all like Turbo, yay! And I say it like Turbo.
Yeah.
Am I an alcoholic yet? That's how I say Turbo.
Yeah, probably.
Like, and no joke, like it's in my review that I filmed. I forgot I was watching the fucking movie at one point.
Oh, really?
I forgot. I was like, what? Am I supposed to be doing something? And then, like, the audio clicked in, and I was just like, oh, fuck, I'm supposed to be watching this movie. Because I've been sick, and I've been staying at work late. When I stay at work late, like, I never feel like I get anything done that's not work. And in fairness, I've been going into work and staying late. And that's what I mean when I say that. But yeah, like I zoned it out entirely at one point, and I think it was sometime after he meets the urban snails.
Oh, right, yeah.
I can't believe I got past a fucking board.
That happens a decent amount in there.
Say again?
That happens quite early on, though.
Well, okay, and like I mentioned this too, the movie almost seems like 4 short stories, and then they don't tell us one. There's 2 at the very beginning, the first act. There's the first act for the garden snails, and there's the first act for the urban snails. And then the second act is where they both meet, and then the third act is where he goes and races. Spoilers.
Yeah. No, that's a fair way, actually. I hadn't thought of it like that.
I thought about this is the way I reasoned it in my head, is that it's a kids movie. It's not designed for kids. So like maybe like if you wanted to break it up and do storybooks or release it in like 3 episodes uh, as a format choice. Well, come here, stupid. Then you could do that for the kids, and it would be more palatable. They could watch like 1 episode of Snails before they go to bed or whatever.
You say it like that makes me think maybe that's what they released the Netflix series for, or as a result of.
Oh, there is a series?
There's an animated series on Netflix.
I hope they tell the Urban Snails story, like how they all got there.
I haven't watched it, but from what I got from the description, it's almost like a sequel. Well, not a sequel, but like a follow-on.
So what happens afterwards?
Yeah.
Their life at the snail track.
Yeah, they go on adventures together.
Well, like, my suspension of disbelief is so broken by the end of the movie. But like, they all get their superpowered shells at the end.
Yeah, that was one thing that if my review ever actually uploads that you will get to see, is that I say that almost even for me, it's a bit. Yeah, it's almost a bit much even for me.
Really, I'm glad that at least. Man, I need to not sit like this on camera. And I like sitting like that sometimes because it's easier to talk. Fuck up my framing. Yeah, there we go. That's how you be technicals on the camera and stuff. Because I'm such professional. I'm so professional. Oh. Isn't that right, Kitty? Yeah.
Apart from that, I didn't think it was too bad.
It was a horrible movie. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that.
I can't actually wait to see what you score it.
It's DreamWorks. It's got good production value. I don't like DreamWorks aesthetics. I don't know why, but Pixar just does humans so much better. Even if it's not realistic, it's more lovable. Like DreamWorks characters seem so harsh. And then like the snails, like the way they used their eyeballs as hands, that threw me a lot.
Oh, what was there was one scene where I actually had to go back and watch it again because I was in absolute stitches and I can't remember. It was just as Turbo makes it back to the garden after he's first sort of become turbocharged and claps his eyes together and the radio starts, and I can't remember what the song was, but it had me crying with laughter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was a funny scene. I'll give you that.
I can't think, what was it?
It makes no sense, though, because it's like fucking the nitrous oxide is not going to give him a fucking radio in his eyeballs.
Well, no, but it's supposed to simulate the fact that he's essentially turned into a motor or a car of some description.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would have bought it if the nitrous, like, made him faster. Like, I would have gone with that. That would have been fine. But it's just, like, that's what killed his superpowers for me, is that he was pretending that he was a car. Oops, sorry, Amanda. I had my feet up on the desk and I closed her. Thing on Abyss. I'll have to get back to that. Oh, man. But I mean, I can see the appeal. I know it's designed for kids, and I'm not that so much anymore. But my problem with that, and like Cars, to a much lesser degree, is I feel like the movie's made for stupid kids.
Okay, yeah, I can go along with that. I think you've got, I don't know, like I said with the suspension of disbelief, I mean, you've got to take Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs as one example. It's clearly not realistic in any way, whereas this had elements of realism but still tried to break it that much. And
okay, yeah. There was a million physics problems throughout the movie, but You wouldn't give me talking snails? Okay. Snails can be characters. It's fine. But then they go like the extra step, and then they make racist versions of snails.
Yeah.
It's things like that. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was like, here's this great sci-fi concept. Let's go with it. Where like everything in the world is real except for this one thing. And it's goofy, it's silly, it's great, it's fine. I give Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs a pass in the end. I'm probably not going to watch it a whole lot, but it's a good movie, and I totally would understand people watching it over and over. Turbo, if you're letting your kids rot your brain with this one over and over, I can't support that.
Yeah, I think there's only so many times you can watch that. I actually found out what the song was as well, having quickly Googled it.
Oh, really? What was
It was Run DMC's It's Tricky.
Oh, that's right. I see I'm laughing again just thinking about that. Yeah, because it was funny seeing the and I think it was actually, was it the Beastie Boys, or was it the Beastie Boy version or Run DMC?
No, it's the Run DMC version, but then obviously
Okay.
it got me thinking about SSX Tricky, the video game, and now I want to go and buy a very cheap copy of that for my PlayStation.
You probably find it on Steam or something. Maybe
It'll be on
Good Old
eBay.
Games.
I'll get it on eBay for my PS2.
I'm saying you don't need the disc. Just get it downloaded. I'm sure it's available somewhere. That one's a horrible game. But no, what got me was later. It's such a subtle thing. This is the beauty I wish they had encapsulated and used on the entire movie. All of a sudden, he's like going through the field, and What's New Pussycat comes on.
Yeah.
It's a song I barely know, but somebody was like, "What if?"
I definitely did not just go onto YouTube to try and find the scene that we're talking about.
You did? Yeah, that's the Run DMC version. Okay.
I love that. That's the best part of the whole film.
No, the best part of the whole film, to me, my very personal, silly-ass opinion, was I think it was the third time he says White Shadow, right before they announce that the snail can race.
Yes.
Like, they're all yelling, like, Turbo, Turbo, and he's like, White Shadow!
We can still see you, White Shadow. Like, it had its moments.
It was such a stupid joke. Like, the first time I was just like, what do we do? Really? I was actually upset that they did a White Shadow joke. I'm like, and then the second time they're like, okay, they're gonna make it into a running gag. Maybe they'll get some return value out of it. And I was really skeptical. And then that one hit, and I was like, oh my god, that was timed so perfectly. It doesn't matter. Like, I love it now. And then there's like 4 other times past that he has the opportunity to do it, and he only does it like once. Like, I thought he said like pot pie or something at one point.
I don't know. I can't remember that, but I think it would have maybe got to the point where you overdid the joke a bit.
No, that would have been what made it funny past that perfect timing point. Because there are things where you can beat a dead horse. You'll see. This came up in a conversation I had last night. I was talking about the Paul Rudd movie where him and like Amy Poehler are having dinner with a couple other people, telling like how they met and everything. There's like comedy done for comedy writers, which is typically like those things where like, here's a joke, here's the same joke, here's us beating a dead horse, because they tend to think that shit's really funny. And I don't know, maybe that's a fantasy thing for them. But a true running gag where you're like, okay, here's a small joke, and we're going to put it down. And then you bring it back up later as a reference to the first, you're like, oh, okay, they were talking about the thing before. Because that's just a referential joke. But when you hit the third time, if you've done it right, you can guarantee a laugh, and that turns it into a running joke. But you can't. You got to pace it right. It actually takes some skill to deliver it that way. And I like running gags, but people will like go, oh, they like running gags. Let's do them all the time. We'll have 6 running at once, and there's no breathing room. So,
yeah, it just gets terrible.
It's so horrible. So horrible. I can't even. It's like I'm a prime number. I just can't even.
That was terrible.
What was?
That joke.
Math's not funny, Charlie?
Even I wouldn't have come up with a joke that poor.
It's like Gold walks into a bar. Oxygen yells, "Hey, you! Get out of here!" Nothing?
I tell you what, I actually know a worse one that I came across this week.
I can still beat it. Go ahead.
I can probably beat it because it's not actually that bad, but what does Father Christmas get when he gets stuck in the chimney?
A reach around? I don't know.
Santa Claustrophobia.
Oh, no, very funny. I get that. That's not that bad.
My brother told me that, and I just put my head in my hands because I thought that is just terrible.
But I mean, like that. And maybe science and bars just don't go together. But like a neutron walks into a bar, says how much for a beer. The bartender goes, for you, no charge.
I've heard a variation on that, but yeah, I know that one.
That one's pretty bad.
Yeah, the variation on that is drinks are free. Are you sure? Yes, I'm positive.
What was it? What did 0 say to 8?
Go on.
Nice belt. Because 0's just, or 8 looks like a 0 with a belt on.
Oh dear, yes.
See?
How does
that
Moses?
was so bad I had to explain it.
How does Moses make his tea?
What?
This one may be a bit lost on you, but I don't know.
Go for it.
He brews it. Hebrew? No. Yes.
That is a very special type of humor.
And on that note.
I can't remember what that's called, but that's a certain brand of jokes where you essentially you just let the audience down, and it's like a relief laugh.
It's crap is what it is.
Because the joke like has 3 parts. It's like you've got like a setup, an execution, and then you've got the change in direction. Because a joke is essentially a story where you're leading them to believe something based on these first two points, and then you're taking them in another dimension or another direction. So essentially the line's not where you thought it was. But that one is, the joke is that because you mentioned Moses, people are immediately thinking, oh, he parts it, or something silly like that.
Yeah.
And so you subvert the expectation by just saying the normal thing. They're like, oh, well, that wasn't anything special. And I'm still laughing about it. That's fucking...
Yeah. Dear. I'm trying to think of any more, because I'm usually one for terrible jokes like these.
I've got a joke, Charlie.
Go on.
Whoa!
Oh, dear.
Mother, it'd be funnier if I was wearing a comedian one, but Mother help me, it's just a goddamn joke. I need to watch Watchmen again. It's been a while.
Oh dear. What was I about to say?
The Watchmen.
I haven't seen The Watchmen.
You are missing out. The problem is it's 3 hours.
I was about to say, isn't it like 8 years long?
I wish it was 8 years long. That'd be such a fucking awesome thing. Just because I like The Watchmen, but Well, more particularly Rorschach than anybody.
Mm.
I just happen to be wearing the shirt. What does it say? No, but it's like 3 hours, and it's not totally uplifting, and I have no idea how I would tell you to split it up to try to watch it throughout the week. Literally no idea.
So it's probably just easy to tell me to watch the entire thing.
Well, yeah, like, but I don't know, like, with your schedule and everything, like, how you're gonna make 3 hours at once. And maybe you just turn it on, and like when things slow down for a minute, you go wash dishes or take a shower or whatever, and then come back and keep watching it.
Something like that.
But it's comic books, Charlie, so you'll like it, right?
Well, yeah. That's always a very fair assumption.
Sorry, it's always amazing when like I can't tell what the cat's looking at, but he's like really interested. I just can't tell what it is.
And you find yourself stuck to the same thing hours on end.
Well, yeah, it's like you just stare at him, and it's like, what are you staring at? And then like he'll lay down, like he's gonna take a nap or something, but he's still looking at something. So I'm like, is he just waiting for his opportunity? Is he going to attack? What's gonna happen next?
Okay. Excuse me. Oh, dear.
Man, okay.
I lost my train of thought.
So any big plans coming up, Charlie?
Work and Christmas.
Working Christmas.
Yeah, I'm in such a desperate need for money. I've been asking for overtime at work, and it looks like they're going to give me some.
Charlie, I know the brothel needs hookers, but what could you possibly be spending all the scratch on?
Work's work. And I spend it all on tea.
This is just for tea money.
Yeah, the problem is that you can genuinely see that being a thing.
I don't know if I can genuinely see it. It's a comedy of almost, or a comedic of almost anti-nationalistic joke, but I don't know. It's funny enough, I guess. We haven't even been going a full hour. We've so little going on this week.
Well, the thing is, it's just been either work or work.
Illness.
Yeah, or illness in your case. I flirted with an illness a couple of weeks ago, but I managed to beat that.
Oh, with having a fling with Nurgle's maidens, huh?
And nowadays he's got the illness.
See, I always expect you to get a GW reference because you're British, and then I realize, like, no, nobody's into that. But I don't know. It's like we're just in that type of season where I'm totally like just saying like Nurgle loves me, yes he does, because my blank tells me so. Which word blank is usually some kind of gross medical thing. Embodying sickness, because Nurgle is the lord of disease. Oh, what did I do?
It's a reference that's lost on me.
Oh. One of these. Sorry, I was just trying to do something off camera real quick. I'm like, oh, this should just take a second. It's like, oh, I'm not done doing that. You can't start A until you finish B. What?
What?
Yeah, exactly. I may need a nap.
Don't tempt me.
Take a nap, Charlie. You're gonna go to bed after this. What are you talking about?
Well, this is true.
Charlie, you sleepy fucker.
That could be taken more than one way.
Okay, yeah, don't give me those images of you. Let's change the subject.
Quickly.
Well, I mean, there's no future project stuff coming up. Like, I'm just trying to keep my head above water in most aspects of my life right now. Once I start feeling better, like for real, like I'm sure I'll get an upsurge of energy. Usually, what's happened is like I'll start feeling icky, and that'll happen for like a month, and before I actually get sick. And then like I'll feel like I'm gonna die, and then I'll get better, and then like I get this nice upsurge of energy where I start doing things and being all productive and blah.
Are you going to see the family-related peoples over the holiday, or are you staying in Florida?
I stayed in Florida for Thanksgiving. For Christmas, I was floating it back and forth. I will probably just stay here this year.
Okay.
While I can absorb some minor fluctuations in finance that I pretty much already committed myself to, plus the large expenditure of going to VidCon, I'm kind of hesitant to throw any more heavy losses of finance there, or on the fire, as it were. But I need to call my grandma and talk to her. She hasn't been picking up the phone, and I think I've just been missing her. So.
Oh no.
You're right. Last week was holidays. I was just like, oh, shit's probably coming. But are we done? Are we done here? I
don't know.
All right, I guess we are. We're running out of things to talk about. We always get off camera.
Okay.
And we talk about other shit. But I'm Kamurai. I do YouTube programming, game designing stuff, things. You can see me on these channels and such over here. Thoughts and vlogs, gaming stuff, movie media review, and then of course We Are Movie Club, where you're watching this now. You feel free to yell at me at Kamurai25 on the Twitters if it makes you feel any better.
And hopefully it will, or at least make you feel better, because you need to be better.
Yeah, I really doubt people yell at me will make me feel better, but I won't care at least.
Make you feel better to yell back.
Oh, man.
And if you want to follow me, if you are that way inclined, I am available on Twitter here. My channels are there, and the gaming division something went up, which was good because we had a bit of a Castle Crashers sesh last week.
Yeah, so and I had all those camera issues, so I reran it on my own before I went and edited the video. Because it turns out, like, the stuff we missed was just us dying a bunch of times.
Oh, well, that's alright then.
So when I spliced it together, it looks normal. I'm like, oh, well, this can just go up.
And now you've ruined it by saying we died a load of times. We could have just had that as a nice clean run.
No, I died more on my own trying to go back through it because I took the Lightning Knight, and I did not build him very well. Because he was really balanced for the most part, and if you go in pro magic like I like to do, you've got to shoot it up. Otherwise, it doesn't work out very well because you need to be able to have as many magic attacks as possible. And if you go bruiser, then it's pretty fine. Or you go speed, or you just become the walking tank of damage. Because either way, whether you're fast or defensive, you'll last long enough to do the damage eventually. But it's a strange game. It makes me want to play Dokapon again too. I really wish there's a way that you and I could play that.
I've never heard of that.
Dokapon Kingdom is a game I think it was on the PS2 and the Wii. It's essentially like Talisman. You have like a board, and you travel around the board, and you collect items, and you gain experience, and you try to do whatever missions the king gives you, which is like, the princess has been taken. I can't find my dog. Oh, the royal treasury's been stolen. And it's got some really fun aspects. The worst thing about it is just how long it takes to get through a single instance of combat. But even that itself is interesting when you're fighting other players because you both pick hidden attacks and whatnot. And for anyone who cares about watching this, go watch Team Hypercube. I think their run of Donkey Kong Kingdom is still going, which is not really a merit in their favor, but that's where I found it.
Nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean it's like one of the first series they started, and I think it took them a couple of years to get through it.
God.
Well, because they play like 10 minutes or whatever it is, like every week. Which sounds so ridiculous when I say it out loud, but it's just the way they format their videos so that they are having relevant data out every week, and it's like, oh, see how far we've gotten in this, and where I would rather just like upload a whole run at once, and if you want to watch the playlist, you can watch the playlist. So World of Goo will come out on Gaming Division eventually.
Gaming Division.
Like that.
I tried another Minecraft modded pack and it lagged my computer to hell, so I think I'm stuck on vanilla Minecraft for a while.
No Mo Creatures?
Well, maybe Mo Creatures, but I tend to not be a fan of the ogres.
Charlie, Mo Creatures. Everything's better with Mo Creatures. Alright. Do you want to take us out and we'll switch over and talk?
I was in the middle of signing out, wasn't I? Yeah, so yeah, find me down here. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and feedback as always if we've had new viewers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.